Columbia cancelled in-person classes, dozens of protesters were arrested at New York University, and Yale and the gates to Harvard Yard were closed to the public. This comes as some of the most prestigious US universities sought to diffuse campus tensions over Israel's war with Hamas. Pro-Palestinian protests have been sweeping several US college campuses, and here's what we know so far. More than 100 pro-Palestinian demonstrators who had camped out on Columbia's Green were arrested last week. Similar protests have sprouted up at universities around the country. At New York University, an encampment set up by students swelled to hundreds of protesters. The school said it warned the crowd to leave and then called in the police after the scene became disorderly, and the university said it learned of reports of intimidating chants and several anti-Semitic incidents. Shortly after 8:30 p.m., officers began making arrests. However, many students have denied of any such anti-Semitic incidents. The protests have pitted students against one another, while the pro-Palestinian students demand that their school condemn Israel's assault on Gaza. Some Jewish students say much of the criticism of Israel has veered into anti-Semitism. Meanwhile, in Columbia, tensions remained high as protests broke out both on campus and outside. 100 pro-Palestinian demonstrators who had camped out on Columbia's Green were arrested last week. In solidarity with the hundreds of students who have been protesting against the Gaza war inside the campus of Columbia University in New York, multiple teaching faculty members held a mass walkout on Monday against the university's decision to allow the police to arrest the students. Columbia announced Monday that courses at the Morningside campus will offer virtual options for students when possible, citing safety as their top priority. Meanwhile, in Massachusetts, a sign said the Harvard Yard was closed to the public on Monday. It said structures including tents and tables were only allowed into the yard with prior permission. This came the same day the Harvard Undergraduate Palestine Solidarity Committee said the university's administration suspended their group. At Yale, police officers arrested about 45 protesters and charged them with misdemeanor trespassing. Protesters set up tents on Friday and demonstrated over the weekend, calling on Yale to end any investments in defense companies that do business with Israel.